All right, so Billy Joe Saunders has officially signed with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. This is the battle camp. Please hit the subscribe button. You'll find it in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. This is the worst kept secret in British boxing over the last week or so. Ever since Billy Joe Saunders and Frank Warren announced that they had parted ways, they had split amicably. It was obvious that Billy Joe Saunders was going to sign with Matchroom. And yeah, today they made it official. They announced it during a press conference that I watched. I watched all of the interviews after the press conference, and I have to say, this is on the face of things. It seems like this is the right move for Billy Joe Saunders. He's been very vocal about the fights that he wants, the people that he wants to face. He wants to test himself against the Triple Gs, the Canelos, Callum Smith, Jacobs, Andrade. These are the names that he wants to fight. And let's face it, where he was previously with Frank Warren, those fights weren't coming easy. He wasn't really in a position where he was able to get those fights over the line. Now he's signed with an organization that has close relationships to the platforms that Canelo, Triple G, Andrade, Jacobs all fight on, and the platform DAZN. It seems like they have quite a big say in who people like Triple G, Canelo, Daniel Jacobs, and Andrade fight. So it seems on the face of it that this move brings him a lot closer and enhances the possibilities of him getting those big fights. During the post-fight interviews and stuff like that, Eddie Hearn he didn't miss a beat. He didn't miss an opportunity to belittle Frank Warren. He didn't miss a chance to tell us how Billy Joe Saunders has now signed with a proper promotional organization. He's now signed with the biggest promotional organization. He's now with the right people that know how to steer his career. Just little digs like that. And I'm not surprised because Frank Warren doesn't miss an opportunity to dig Eddie Hearn out. It's just the nature of boxing, I suppose. But there was there was some truth in what Eddie Hearn was saying. It just so happened that all of the fighters that are operating in Billy Joe Saunders' division went to the zone, and they went to the zone because Canelo made that jump. So Triple G followed him, and Andrade I think was already with Eddie Hearn. So it just kind of chips just fell in place for Eddie Hearn to be the right person in terms of Billy Joe Saunders' next move. Do you know what I mean? I don't think the move was done because Billy Joe Saunders thinks Eddie Hearn is a way better promoter, or Eddie Hearn is better at his job than Frank Warren. It just so happens it just was just lucky for Eddie Hearn, I suppose, in this particular situation, that he had all the advantages when it comes to what Billy Joe Saunders wants to do with the remainder of his career. Um, I found it a little bit. I found it was good that Billy Joe Saunders was able to just leave Frank Warren. I don't know how many fights he had left on his contract. I don't know how many years he had left on his contract. Um, and this is just pure speculation on my part. Obviously, I don't have any facts to back this up. I haven't even read this anyway. It's just me conjuring up these thoughts that go through my head and spitting them out on YouTube. And there's a very high possibility that I'm completely off the mark on this. But Billy Joe Saunders is obviously very good friends with Tyson Fury, and they're both signed to MTK Global. And I feel like that had something to do with Frank Warren letting Billy Joe Saunders just walk away from whatever contract he had with Frank Warren. Um, I've spoken about this previously, and I feel like Tyson Fury and Frank Warren, there is no promotional managerial agreement there. The only agreement that they have is the fact that Tyson Fury fights on BT Sport, and I believe that's probably done through Frank Warren. But in terms of managing or promoting Tyson Fury, Frank Warren has no say in his career. And I feel like they maybe leveraged that situation in order to let Billy Joe Saunders walk away from his contract. Basically saying, look, Frank, we're letting you be involved with Tyson Fury's career. We don't really have to do that. And I think you should let Billy Joe Saunders go if you want to continue having a piece of Tyson Fury's career. Now, this is just this is just a perception that I have, and it's based on zero facts. So take it or leave it. But there is a chance that this might have happened. I don't know, but I just find it strange that Frank Warren has just let Billy Joe Saunders walk away, given how he's behaved with other fighters that he had signed to him and have tried to leave or had left, and there's been kind of, it's either just been nasty words said in the press, or there's been actual court cases about it. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, but I'm just kind of putting something out there because it's just something that I've been thinking about recently. They're talking about Billy Joe Saunders' first fight with Matchroom, and I think if I'm not wrong, Eddie Hearn was talking about the fact that he wants Billy Joe Saunders to make his Matchroom debut in the States. It'll be in the States later this year. But I don't think it will be against one of those names that I mentioned earlier, an Andrade or a Triple G or a Canelo, whoever. Which is a bit disappointing for me, because I'm not saying that I want him to fight one of those guys right away, but if he's going to fight someone that isn't one of those guys, then I think it would be nice for Billy Joe Saunders to make his debut over here in the UK at the O2 or something like that, because Frank Warren was talking about Billy Joe Saunders' next fight being at the Copper Box. And I think there's value in Billy Joe Saunders announcing his arrival in the Matchroom stable at a sold out night at the O2. Do you know what I mean? But maybe Eddie Hearn wants him to fight in the States to build his profile in the States, so he's a more of a viable opponent for a Triple G or for a Canelo. Who knows? Maybe there is a strategy and there's a reason for it. But me, I suppose, as a fan, I prefer to see him fight at the O2 in the UK, because I'd probably go to it if I'm honest with you. But yeah, on the face of it, it's a good move for Billy Joe Saunders. I'm happy for him. Hopefully now, he's been calling these names for years, literally years, and hopefully now, if not at the end of this year, but hopefully at some point next year, he'll be able to test himself against one of these names, and we'll get to see just how good Billy Joe Saunders is. Let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below. Don't be scared to hit the like button if you've enjoyed this video. Please share it with a friend. Let me know actually what you guys think. Where do you think you should be fighting? Where do you think you should be making his Matchroom debut? Who do you think you should be fighting against? And yeah, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I'll catch you guys on the next one.